Hi, everybody. I just wanted to quickly go over the annotated bibliography assignment that I just linked to on the syllabus, and I'm going to encourage you to listen to this whole video because I have some important things to say at the end. So basically, if hopefully most of you are familiar with the notion of an annotated bibliography, this is going to be a very short one under the circumstances. The basic idea is it's going to look like a works cited page, just listing references using a normal style, citation style. But between each citation, you're going to include a short paragraph. And I go into that under procedures here. 3 to 10 sentences usually. They should be short. The purpose of an annotated bibliography is to help you in your research process. Just remember everything that you've read. In a normal semester, as I point out in the assignment, and this was my intention all along, in a normal semester, I would have had you, of course, have had you written a research paper or a research essay that this annotated bibliography would have been in support of, but we're just sort of mocking that up for a short 6-week course. So I'm going to ask you to, the basic procedure here is you're going to pick one of the articles or chapters. So not one of the fantasy novels, but one of the secondary sources that we read this semester that you want to get some more information on. And you're going to research it using either ideally one of the library databases through libraries.eku.edu. MLA International Bibliography, JSTOR are really good ones. If you sort of strike out on those, you are welcome to use Google Scholar, especially given some of the subject matter we're talking about. Sometimes you can find, you can still find good scholarly sources that way. But do your best. What you're looking for here are sort of accredited, peer-reviewed scholarly sources on a similar topic to one of the articles that we read for class. So for example, if you wanted to talk about the Joseph Laycock chapter on religion in role-playing games, right, those would be keywords that you'd be using. If you wanted to look at the LaPointe article thinking about role-playing games in the classroom, I'm sorry, the Jones article, role-playing games in the classroom, you would do that, do a search for education and role-playing games. And we're gonna cast a very broad net in what we mean in terms of like related articles. But the idea here is that you're using one in-class article that you've already read and then finding 3 outside sources. You're going to do a summary of the source, and notice the whole annotation is 3 to 10 sentences. So these are not crazy in-depth summaries. These are sort of gestures to remind you what each article is about. I mean, that's the whole purpose of them. A good annotation should also include an evaluation. So at least a 1-sentence evaluation, and that is to say basically whether or not you think it's a good or credible or a sort of bad, poorly structured argument that the article is making. And then finally, just a discussion of how the source connects to your research interests. I mean, ultimately not, and this is in other words, the evaluation is about, did you find it well written? And then this last point is about, does it actually connect? Now that you've gotten the article and looked at it, does it actually connect with what you're interested in? You will go ahead, just make this into a doc, I think would be, or a Google Doc would be the easiest thing to do. Just share it with me on, there's under assignments in Blackboard, I've created a not a Dropbox, but a link where you can upload it. And then for the assessment criteria, again, we're going to be pretty, what shall we say? I think if you get this done, that will be enough. But I mean, think about, how you are critically thinking as you're summarizing and you're making claims about each article that you've read. Obviously, for this one, a big deal is pay attention just to use those style templates and make sure that you're citing everything accurately. I mean, in this day and age, pretty much if you find it online, you can probably get a good MLA or Chicago style citation. I mentioned in the assignment, by the way, that I prefer MLA, but any APA or Chicago is fine with me as long as you're consistent throughout the document. And then just obviously, just you're filling out the annotations as best you can, and I think that will hit enough of these assessment criteria that you should be able to get an A on it. I want to apologize because I did not realize until the beginning of this week that I had never linked to this assignment. I've scaled it back, in case you can't tell. The original intent was to sort of have like almost all of the in-class readings annotated, and then and then do the outside reading. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're just going to take out those last 2 readings for week 6, which is coming up next week, and I just want you guys focusing on this instead. And again, really, you're just looking at doing 4 annotations then. So the 1 in-class text and the 3 outside texts that you find through your own researches. And obviously, again, if there are any concerns or questions, especially because I've linked to this so late in the session, and my apologies again for that, let me know over Discord, or we can set up a Zoom meeting and we can sort of set something up. But I think it's important that we do this as the graduate portion of the class, because doing a little bit of research, and I think just getting practice with your research methodologies is really crucial to get the full graduate level experience for the class. So again, if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. But this is what we have set out now for this assignment for the session.